Hello YouTube, this is gonna be a video about how you can make your own potting soil mixes so that you can grow plants in containers. I'm gonna share with you 4 different recipes that you can use to get started. This channel will be geared more towards beginner growers, so if you've never grown a plant before, I'm gonna show you a few different methods that you can use to get started. The first mix is gonna be a regular all-purpose soil mix. The second one is gonna be better draining, so it's gonna be more for like seed starting or succulents. The third one is gonna be a cacti mix. The fourth one will be a mix more for cacti, but seedlings. So all of this stuff here will be available at your local big box stores, and it's gonna save you money in the long run versus you buying bags. So I'll share with you the price differences and all that stuff. The first all-purpose mix will be 3 ingredients, so it's going to be equal parts perlite. This is going to be for drainage. The second ingredient will be peat moss. This is going to be used to help hold the moisture in there. And then the third part will be compost. The more different sources of compost that you can find, the better. I have 2 of them here, which is mushroom compost and then this other organic compost. So we're going to mix those together. But it's just equal parts, those 3 items: perlite, peat moss, and compost. So for the first step, you're gonna take your sources of compost and you're gonna mix them together. The more that you have, the better. I have 2 of them here, so we're gonna take 1 part of this organic compost. That's 1 part. I'm gonna throw it in this bucket. And then we're gonna take another part of the mushroom compost. And I have 2 sources here, which is good enough. You can even get away with 1 source, but the more that you have, the better. So we're gonna throw them together and then just mix them up. And this will be the compost that you can use. So the compost, you're gonna throw in 1 part. This is gonna be the regular all-purpose mix. So it'll be 1 part compost. And then the next ingredient is gonna be perlite. So we're gonna take 1 part perlite. Make sure not to breathe this shit in because it's bad for you. And here it is for the camera. And that's for the drainage. And then the last ingredient will be the peat moss. So there'll be 1 part peat moss. Once you have your mixture, you're just gonna mix it all together. If you're doing little batches, you can do it by hand. If you get crazy and you start doing bigger batches, you can get a cement mixer and use that. So this will be pretty much the consistency of the all-purpose regular mix. So this will be, you can use this for most plants. Okay, so now that you have your soil mix here, you're gonna have to add some sort of food into it so that the plant can eat it. Now, you can either buy synthetic fertilizer, which is like chemicals, or you can buy organic fertilizer, which is made out of dead stuff. Now, we're gonna go over how to use organic fertilizer. What I like to use is this Dr. Earth homegrown. They sell it at most big box stores like Home Depot and Walmart. You're gonna just add 2 tablespoons per gallon to how many gallons you're using. So for example, here's a 1 gallon pot. We're gonna add the soil into it. That's 1 gallon of soil. So you're gonna do two tablespoons per gallon. This is a tablespoon measure here. Gonna do 1, 2. And then this will be the proper ratio for feeding your plant. Now you're gonna just wanna make sure you mix it in all evenly and all that. But you will have to pretty much refeed the plant right about every 3 weeks. Some plants eat a little bit more than others, but you'll pretty much add 2 tablespoons per gallon every 3 weeks. The second soil mix will be for the succulents and the seedlings. The first ingredient will be the perlite, and you're gonna do 50% perlite, so half of it will be perlite. The other ingredient, you're gonna do 1/4 peat moss and then 1/4 compost as well. So it'll be half perlite, 1/4 peat moss, and then 1/4 compost. Okay, so the second mix is going to be a little bit better draining, and it's going to be for succulents and then for starting seeds as well. This one, it's going to be, half of it's going to be perlite, so we're going to do 2 parts perlite. One, 2, and then it's going to be 1/4 peat moss, so just one of these. And then 1 part of the compost mix that we made. You're just gonna mix it all in. This has more perlite than the first one, so it'll drain better. Here's more of a close-up. For this mix, you're gonna do the same thing with the fertilizer, so 2 tablespoons per gallon. Okay, so this is gonna be the mix for cacti. It's gonna be 5 different ingredients. So it's gonna be perlite, which is what we used before on the other ones. This one is gonna do 1 part perlite, 1 part worm castings, 1 part turface, 1 part poultry grit, and then 1 part pumice stone. So it's all equal parts of each one. Okay, and then this one will be the cactus mix. So we're gonna do 1 part pumice stone, 1 part worm castings, this is 1 part of the chicken grit, one part of the turface, last ingredient will be the perlite. We're gonna mix this all together. This is what we're gonna come up with for cactus. The last mix will be for starting cactus seedlings. And what you're gonna do with this one is you're just gonna get your regular mix, the first one that we made, and then you're gonna add pumice stone to it. So you would do 1 part this and 1 part pumice stone. So this is gonna be the cactus seedling mix. We're gonna do 1 part of the regular mix that we made. And if you get any bigger pieces like this stuff, you can kind of take it out. So you're gonna do 1 of these. And then the other part will be the pumice stone, which looks like this. And you're just gonna mix it all together. I mentioned all these bigger pieces, we can just take them out. This stuff, just throw it out. This is the consistency once it's all mixed up. I'm gonna make another video about this, that way you can see it in detail, but an important step, once you're sowing your cactus seeds in the cactus starting mix, you're gonna wanna cover the surface with the turface material. That way they don't get washed around when you water it and they get moved around and all that. So you're gonna wanna cover the surface with this stuff. This first one's the all-purpose. Second one is the succulent and seedling mix. Has more perlite in it than the first one. Third one is the cactus mix. So this is way more gritty than the other ones. It's for much better drainage. And this last one is the cactus seedling mix. These are all good starting points. You can always adjust from here or make your own, but this is a good starting point for right now. That's pretty much it. I will be posting more videos on actually growing plants so you can see that this stuff works. But if you have any questions, feel free to message me, or you can leave them in the comments and we can go from there. I am also working on my website where I will be posting this information. That way you can click on it and look at it, so you can keep an eye out on fromrootswegrow.com. You have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye now.
What? Sir.